Okay, good evening. Want to welcome everybody to the new Google Hangout for Black Wall Street International. Thank you so much for your patience. I had a couple technical difficulties, but we're definitely up and running right now. So once again, thank you for joining us. And we just want to provide a platform where we can engage with one another. You can ask questions with regard to our webinar. That can definitely be found on our YouTube channel. And it can also be found on our website, www.bwsintl.com/ and the name of your city, whether it's Los Angeles, Las Vegas, New York, Dayton, Cincinnati, wherever you are, put that city in and you can connect to the webinar. But the easiest place is definitely, if you have any challenges, go right to that YouTube channel, Black Wall Street International. Okay, so definitely want to engage with everybody. There is a chat, if you can find that, where you can ask your questions. Okay, so I just typed in ask your questions here. Hopefully you can see that. Just want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to connect to us in a way whereby it's relevant. We want to be able to be accessible. We want to be able to answer your questions. We want to be able to engage with you on a regular basis with regard to our platform, what we're doing at Black Wall Street International, as well as our benefits, our programs, and just how things are working, just giving everyone updates, just letting you know what it is you want and need to know with regard to our program, how it's working, how things are coming along, and how you fit into the picture, most importantly. We definitely want people to understand with all that's going on right now on the national stage, this is an extremely important project, extremely important. Definitely want people to know that this is the answer. We're finalizing the last aspects of our marketing campaign with regard to advertising and print, radio, things of that nature. And what it really boils down to is that we're really out to circumvent racism. So whether we're beating it or actually ending it, we're taking control of the entire situation. We're taking control of the fact that we want to create an environment whereby we are not subject anymore to racist elements. Because racism at its core, we need to really get the word out that racism is an economic tool that is used by the ruling class with regard to the situation of resources. Okay, when a person is denying you resources and they're part of the controlling class, that is in fact when you have racism. Okay, and Dr. Claude Anderson points it out beautifully, and it's looking backwards because it's still on camera. But this is Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson, and I definitely encourage everybody to pick that up because it's something that we base our program on. And you want to know the concepts because this is an economic era, this is the economic age whereby we want to ensure that we are doing the right thing. We want to make sure that we are definitely sending the right message. We have the civil rights movement, and now we're on to economic justice, which is really what it started out to be, but it didn't finish that way. So we want to make sure that everyone understands that this is definitely about economic justice. Okay, so when it comes right down to it, we want to make sure that our message is clear. We want to make sure that people understand why we're doing this, and we want people to understand what you can gain from your participation. And that's whether you want to start a business or whether you just want to support the advancement of group economics, which is really going to be our saving grace. We can no longer depend on this system, and that is what slavery taught us. We have to start being realistic in our conversation when we talk about slavery. We have to advance the discussion. It can no longer just be that we're upset that it happened and we need reparations, although that's a valid conversation as well. But we have to take some personal control over what we're experiencing. And the only way to do that is to do for self. So group economics is a starting point to do that on an economic level. Now, to just take a step back from that, what we have to do as individuals is we have to become honest about what slavery has done to us. We have to begin to identify these behaviors that Dr. Claude Anderson refers so eloquent to as inappropriate behavior. And that's really what we suffer from because of slavery. And the thing about it is, when your oppressor wants to keep you in that condition, he's not going to enlighten you as to the tools he's using against you or the elements that are working in his favor as society advances. He's not going to be very open about that if he wants to keep his foot on your neck, so to speak, something that we suffer from within our culture. So you want to definitely be sure that we understand this concept. It's almost like the banner flag that I'm raising for this year with regard to, just making sure that people understand that racism has to do squarely with economics. And so rarely is that connection made. It seems to stay within the social realm, which is where the civil rights movement was taken hostage, was in the social arena. Now, Martin Luther King, I saw an excellent documentary that's generally never shown. It shows the real politics behind what happened before Martin Luther King died. And he was down there helping the sanitation workers with organizing in terms of unionizing. A couple of them had just ended up dying on the job because the conditions weren't safe, and they just walked out after that. I mean, they couldn't get them to do it, but when that happened, they just walked out. And Martin Luther King was there to, assist with the movement of getting some kind of justice with regard to these working conditions and the pay and things of that nature. So we really have to, understand that the economics of racism is what this is really all about. We need to understand that we have to come together in a commonality on a group level. As a culture group, we have to begin to see each other as self. We have to start to get rid of these maladies, and that's why it's so important what we're doing, because we need the resources. Your enemy is not going to give you the resources you need to fix yourself, and we really have to understand that we have, like Dr. Umar Johnson says, we've been sold the illusion of inclusion. We've only been included to a level where they want us to participate, and we're not assisted, helped, guided, instructed to get any higher than that. So we have to start to be realistic and honest about the fact that our station here is basically built in as a literal second-class citizen. So in order for us to help ourselves, we have to rally around a group economic platform. And at that point, we will be able to finance our liberation, so to speak. This is definitely about understanding that we must come together and pool our resources, our time, and our talents. I mean, we're in a recession. I really think this is an excellent environment to romance the black professional. Because so often the black professional is highly educated, makes a lot of money and things of that nature. Well, right now with the way the economy is going, people are trying to earn a living the best way they can. So at this point, it's a very opportune time for the black business professional to look back and say, hey, what about my community? Is that an underserved market? Is that an underserved segment that I've tended to ignore in the past? Well, now we want you to come on back. Come home. Come to Jamaica. If you remember that commercial. We want people to come back and deal with us as a people, as a group. And what Black Wall Street International is here to do is to improve the stage of business. We want to improve the experience, the end user, the consumer. We clearly know that we have problems within the black business realm, whether it be our cognizance of business principles or just keeping the shelves stocked or keeping the doors open during regular business hours. We have to step up our game. As one of our friends in cyber world says, it's really time to step your game up. And that's what we're here to do, is to help everyone step up their game. So just want to make sure that we all are clear on this moving forward, because it's very important when you're talking about what we suffer from. It's very important to understand that
business casual or something.
The condition that we're in squarely circles around money,
I mean, not on
economics, finances.
Should even Google people.
There's just no other way to put it. I'm seeing some activity down here. I'm so sorry.
What do you think of my nails? Sparkly.
I'm trying to engage, and I'm not quite sure how to use this. Let's see if that works. You there? Okay. Okay. Maybe not. Still trying to master the platform here, so definitely bear with us. We appreciate your time and your patience. So hopefully everyone that's tuning in right now or that's watching this video, you've definitely watched our webinar. That's the first step. When you join us on Wednesdays, we want to make sure that you've watched the webinar, so at least you have a basis for any questions that you might have. That's very important. If you have any questions, you can always email us, inquiries@bwsintl.com. Our number is 800-718-7606. We also have an affiliate center, affiliates with an S, .spiralfunding.com. You can also join on that page. It says right at the top, join Spiral Funding. So you can join there as well as become an affiliate, which is free. And we do offer a $10 bonus for every member that you refer as part of our built-in affiliate program, not a network or MLM marketing program, but definitely there to assist people. Because so many times organizations want you to volunteer your time. So we thought it would be nice just as a thank you to give back to people who want to help us grow. We thought it would be a good idea to incorporate a thank you bonus. Just to say thank you for participating, supporting, and bringing new members on board. So there's a $10 thank you bonus involved with the affiliate program, and that's what you can anticipate there. So definitely want to make sure that everybody understands the program, how it's working, what's going on with it, and things of that nature. So we do have a chat set up here. Hopefully everybody can see it. The chat room is there for you to type in your questions, any questions that you might have. We are live, Google Hangout, our first one, and we will be growing and improving from here. So we thank you for your participation, and definitely keep coming back. Connect to us on Google+. You can like us and all of that stuff. You can find us on Twitter, BWSINTL. We're pretty much all over the place. We're on Tumblr. Just Google Black Wall Street International. We're literally everywhere, but we definitely want you to get connected with us and understand that this is a private organization, and it's definitely designed to correct the problem that occurred with affirmative action and the label of being a minority in America. And Dr. Anderson addresses this very well in Powernomics. He talks about the fact that he was actually one of the authors of affirmative action legislation. And he also witnessed them water it down to include everyone, as he says, including midgets and humpbacks. That's the way he expresses it. So it went from something for black people to something for everybody who's not white, basically, in America. Any non-white ethnic groups become the minority. So we definitely want to understand that we need to connect on a group basis within our culture group, and we need to do it quickly. Time is definitely of the essence. We really need to know where we fit in, and that's one reason why we love the Powernomics platform so much. It's the national plan to empower Black America, and this is our revitalization fund that we've put together through Black Wall Street International with our Spiral Funding benefit. So you come into Black Wall Street International, it's a free membership. The benefit is what you're connecting to. It's $19.99 to start, $9.99 per month, and that gives you access to the benefit and to the funding, whether it's a startup business or whether you're expanding. So our mission is to fund over 70 businesses per month based on this model. And with Comedic Pipeline's help in the background, we have the support of any additional funding that we may need to make this a reality until we get our numbers where they need to be. So they've pledged matching funds for everything that we're able to raise on a 2-to-1 ratio. So we're extremely excited about that. But we do have to get the work done of getting you guys in here to participate. So we're going to, if not end it, we're definitely going to beat racism, because we're going to pool our resources so that we no longer have to go to our enemy for things that we need. We have to get out of the cycle of going to our ex-slave master for things that we need, because the truth of it is he has systematically pulled out of the public show racism. I mean, you look at the whole Clippers situation. You know, he's like, you know, just don't do it out in public. You know, be in the background. You know, don't. You know, so everything with regard to racism is done systematically at this point, where nobody has to put their personal signature on it because it's written into the policies. The policies are racist because they're designed. They know us like the back of their hand. So the policies are designed to target us and eliminate us from eligibility most times of anything that would be beneficial to us. Everything from tax credits on a business level. I mean, just all kinds of different things that are out there. And the very government that used our labor to build this country now wants to exclude us from a lot of the resources that were designed and created to help us with our specific unique problems. And the reason why we say it's a private organization for blacks is because we're the only ones with the unique history here in this country, and who've been through what we've been through, and who suffer the economic deprivation, unlike most any other group, aside from maybe the American Indian, which is actually us as well. But you have to come to a point where you say enough already. I'm no longer going to settle or be okay with the way that I'm being treated. I'm no longer going to participate in my own deprivation. I'm no longer going to fund my own oppression. There are so many products that we buy that are run by racists that is sad. And we're blowing them up. We're spending our money with these companies, and we're funding our own oppression. So we have to get to a point where, you know, our constitutional cultural values are love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. RBG, red, black, and green. Okay, that's what our cultural affiliation is. So you definitely want to make sure that you understand that, because it's very important in terms of moving forward. Because we definitely want to be able to, you know, be effective when it comes to reaching out and addressing people. Because what it boils down to is there's a lot of different ways to be black. That's kind of like the new thing, especially your upwardly mobile crowd. It's like there's no one description of black. There's no one way to be black. There's no one, you know, one way to do any of that. So we have to be very, very honest and very sincere about, you know, what's really going on. I'm getting a report that there's no sound coming through. Okay, not quite sure why that's the case. Oh, let's see. Oh, okay, you can hear. Okay, great. Okay, Jonathan, thank you so much. I see it. Your icon keeps popping in, and I'm not sure why. So I just wanted to make sure that there was no major problem there. So yeah, basically that's the battle cry right now. Is that obviously we know in our community we have some maladies and things of that nature that we need to deal with, but we need to have the finances to deal with this, from whether it be a nonprofit standpoint or whatever the case may be, to deal with it, because it takes economic acumen to deal with a lot of things that's going on in our community. And that's what this represents. We want to make sure that we're supporting this, participating in this, and that people understand. I mean, you can't demand jobs. We have to create businesses that hire our own people. So we have to start changing our thinking. And a lot of times we run out there and we're not understanding that our thinking is actually rooted in a slave mentality. And we're going to have to start being honest with ourselves and people around us with regard to those types of thinking patterns. We have to get out of that thought process. We have to get out of thinking in that way. We can't afford to keep functioning in an unhealthy methodology. So we're here to enlighten everybody to the fact that we definitely want you to help make Spiral go viral, because this will, if not end racism, it's going to beat it. Because when we can get to the point where we're not looking to our former slave master for resources, because this is truly a game, the word race, he goes over this in Powernomics, or is it Black Labor, White Wealth, one of the two books that Dr. Claude Anderson wrote. He goes into the analogy of the word race. It was literally a race for resources, and we are dead last. Not only are we dead last, we're not even in the race, we're the prize. That's how bad our situation is, okay, in the scope of being part of the human family, and just where we are in the race war or race relations, or however you want to frame it. When it comes to matters of race, we are below last. We're like not even in the game. So we have to be honest about the fact of what racism is and how we can collectively solve our problem. So with Spiral Funding and with our Revitalization Fund, it is literally a national platform to recycle our black dollars into a revitalization fund that is going to fund the businesses that we need to correct our situation. We're going to be funding nonprofit programs because we have to speak to the violence, we have to speak to the music, we have to speak to Dr. Kill patient that people are dying of respiratory failure and pneumonia in the hospitals. I know, guess what? You didn't know I knew that, did you? Well, guess what? Your loved one is not the only one that happened to. It's an epidemic, a silent epidemic of our people dying in these hospitals. It shouldn't be happening. They're being murdered by the hospitals. So we have to have the resources to deal with these types of issues. I mean, why don't we have our own hospitals? The more I get into this project, it just stupefies me that we have bought into assimilation so deeply that we do not even have our own institutions when it comes to basic necessities of a community. I mean, a community should have, you know, transportation services. You should have, you know, your cleaners. You need a hospital. You need a bank. I mean, these are like basic things. And we have completely given up the reins to our former slave master. And I hate to say that because I have to keep it in context, because we are a conquered people in this country. And we have to be truthful about it. We have to be honest. We have to accept it so that we can deal with it and move on. Dealing with it and moving on, we have provided the platform to do that. This is a platform, you know, and there's going to be people out there that, you know, talk bad, oh, you can't do it, it's impossible, this or that. Well, guess what? In this instance, I'm going to quote President Obama. We are the change we've been looking for, okay, bottom line. So we have to function in a way whereby we understand that it's us that's going to provide the solution. Yeah, it's us that's going to provide the solution. We are the ones that are going to be the answer to our own problem. Because guess what? They talk about this spending power and buying power and these trillions of dollars floating through our hands in the black community. But again, we're using that money to fund our oppression because that money is going to buy products of racist companies and things of that nature. So it's not doing us any good. So what we're doing is we're saying, hey, guess what? We're going to put out a call to action. We're going to say, listen, we're going to give you a platform where you can do $9.99 a month to commit that money towards the revitalization of the black community from the ground up. Because there's so much need here that we could virtually start anywhere and be successful. But the key is we have to start with black businesses, because that's the cornerstone of the economic infrastructure that we need as a community. We're the only community without our own economic infrastructure. And when you start analyzing our situation and you get into the facts and figures of it, it's sad. It's a very sad state of affairs. You know, this lack of business is directly connected to our incarceration rate. It's connected to so many maladies in our community that this is really the starting point to make a massive change. So we definitely are enlisting your help. to not only join and get involved, but to definitely bring one additional person on board, because guys, we're all dealing with racism. I don't care how intelligent or unintelligent you are, how sharp, uneducated, educated, it does not matter. We're all looked at the same and is in one group, and we have to come to terms with that, and we must figure out a way to work together to solve our collective problem. We have to stop seeing ourselves as individuals and start seeing this thing as a collective problem, because that's truly and really what it is. So the platform is here. Black Wall Street International is here. We have Spiral Funding. Again, it's $19.99 to get started, and it's $9.99 a month. Not a killing price point. Okay, when you talk about fighting racism to create opportunities for black people that this society is just simply not giving us. We can't get back. I mean, you would be amazed at the stories that we hear about professionals, doctors, lawyers, people with, over $1 million in the bank who cannot get financing. Now, you tell me how somebody with means and a professional license and an income, money coming in, doesn't qualify for financing. That is explicitly racism. When you deny me resources for no good reason, and it's based on the color of my skin or some type of other ethnic prejudice, it's racism. So the only way to beat racism, and you also have to realize it's an economic, they made slavery economic. So by keeping the black community in debt, that's economic slavery. So the way that we beat slavery and racism is to pool our money. It's unfortunately a money game. It's a very sad situation. But I mean, even in politics, we lose because we literally have nobody in Washington advocating for us, because we're not paying any lobbyists to lobby for black issues. And we have to begin to see ourselves as different. I don't want to use the word separate or separate, but we have to see our issues as different from other minority groups, okay? Because our situation is not the same as theirs. It's very different. And we've been sold this illusion to just go along to get along, and that's really not working for our community, because we have all these problems stacking up on us. And we got a lot of mental health issues in the community. They're finally starting to talk about that. So that's a victory in and of itself. So now that they're talking about these mental health issues, now we got to start dealing with them. But the only way to start addressing all of this stuff is it's a matter of resources. Everything is a matter of resources. So this $9.99 per month is specifically designed for us to say, hey, I got 10 on it. Let's help our people. Let's create that company. Let's create jobs. Let's, Dr. Umar is trying to get that St. Paul's College. We want to be able to do that, to maintain our black institutions of higher learning, to keep them in the community. So all of these things takes money, guys. We can't keep just, running around with our J's on and thinking we're just invincible by ourselves. No, you're part of the black community, which has a lot of problems. And so if you want to maintain that freedom and you want to maintain that capacity to have a social life and do things like that, it's going to be critical for you to get involved with this. I mean, some of you young people, think about it. Do you have anything that's earning you a retirement check? I mean, my parents are in their 80s. God bless their soul. My dad just turned 82 a few days ago. And my mom's in her 70s. They have retirements. They have retirement. They get retirement money. Decent to good money. Okay? But what about this generation and lower? There are no situations where there's a built-in retirement. There's no retirement out there. So what are we doing to prepare for us getting old? We have to start getting that economic education that we've been denied. I mean, we just simply have to do it. There's no way around it. So we've got to start making the necessary changes as a community to be our brother's keeper. We have to help each other, and we've got to join forces. We have to band together. So just want to make sure that everybody knows that this is where we are. This is where we'll be. This is our first Google Hangout. We want to thank you for participating. It's going to do nothing but get better in the future. We just wanted to make sure that we were here for you and that you had something to connect to. So definitely keep joining us. We're going to be going into more details as we perfect this platform. If you have any input, anything to share with us, definitely do that. We're on YouTube, Black Wall Street International. We're on Twitter, BWSINTL. We are on Tumblr. We're in quite a few places where you can find us. We're definitely on Facebook. You can hit us on our Facebook page, but we welcome any and all participation. We have advisory boards forming. We recently brought on our newest addition, Patrice Green, who was our human resource person. So the hiring is underway. We're staffing up. We're getting ready. We've got our initial applications that have been submitted. People are beginning to get approved for their funding. So things are happening at Black Wall Street International. Make no mistake about it. And that's to all the haters out there. Don't worry. We'll be over the top very soon. So the bottom line of it is we've got to come together. We've got to come together. It's a group economic platform. We're going to recycle these black dollars at a rate of only $9.99 per month. Definitely looking for that first million. And we're going to knock all this out. We're going to deal with some of the maladies in our community. We're going to start businesses. We're going to have jobs. We're going to be employing our college graduates. We're going to have interns for you guys. We're going to be able to give Ray over there, get him off his mother's couch and get him into a position and give him his manhood back. So we're gonna fix all this stuff. We're gonna fix this. We've got to deal with our babies who had babies that just haven't had the educational acumen at home to really raise people with the tools that they need to get ahead and be successful in life. So that's definitely something coming out of Black Wall Street, and we want you to know, again, we are here. This is our Google Hangout. We'll be here every week, every Wednesday at 6, and just get ready, because like I said, it's not going to do anything but get better from here. So make sure that you're connected, that you're tuned in and chimed in. We're going to be here. We hope you're here. Make sure you check out our new affiliate center, affiliates.spiralfunding.com. You can join Black Wall Street International from that page. Right at the top, it says Join Spiral Funding. And you can also enroll for free in the affiliate program. And for more information, you can definitely go to spiralfunding.com. Lots of information on the website there for you to digest. And then, of course, there's BWSINTL.com. So you can go there as well. Feel free to email us inquiries@BWSINTL.com or call us if you have any questions or need to get connected or having any problems with anything whatsoever. Our number is 800-718-7606. My name is Sharice. I'm the Director of Marketing for Black Wall Street International, host of the Google Hangout. This is actually going to be our show and tell hangout every week here Wednesday. This being our introductory installment. Definitely still getting through some of the technical issues and mastering our platform here, but once again, it's not going to do anything but get better from here. So once again, thank you for joining us, and we will definitely see you next week at our Google Hangout. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon.